It's time for LoZ Reviews!
And speaking of quantum spoilers, last week we're going to jump into our review of Loki Lamentis, episode 3. And I think you nailed it. So if you go back to our review of episode 2, and these are on YouTube, go check them out. And I mean, if you're listening to the podcast, you're listening to us now. But if you want to check us out in the video, definitely follow us on YouTube. But yeah, the Enchantress theory that Miguel dropped last week, I feel like it was pretty much confirmed in this episode.
Right?
Dude, I feel like they shoved the word enchantment down our throats. Like enchant.
Right, like Loki's all like, so I do magic and you enchant, right? Yeah, so I'm enchanting him, I'm enchanting her. Like, I'll try to enchant you right now. So, like, what's your name again? Okay, Enchantress. All right, cool. Sure.
It's like your mad as Guardian, Shakespearean, well-spoken old English ass didn't have a thesaurus for the word enchantment. Then, like, so we know that's Enchantress. Right. like yeah, word.
Right. So for the fans out there, because we're talking about, like, right now, obviously you should stop. If you've seen the episodes, go watch our last review, because you saw us go into that and our theory of the Sylvie Lady Loki as Enchantress. Obviously, at the end of that episode, they both disappeared through the time portal thing, right? And this episode kicks off immediately from there. They land at the TVA headquarters, and like fucking Enchantress, that's what I'm calling her. I'm not calling her Sylvie. Enchantress is on a mission to fucking kill the time what are timekeepers, right? Is that their name?
Yeah, the timekeepers,
yeah. And then Loki's in there, and so that's the first big ass scene, and we get some good action. What did you guys think of that start?
Well, I mean, I personally enjoyed the very beginning of the episode. I just, for some reason though, like this episode as a whole, for me so far, this is the wackest episode. I'm gonna lead with that. Out of the 3 so far, this is the weakest one. But I do want to give props to the Enchantress. Gonna follow Miguel's lead here. Because she outplayed Loki, because this dude divulged himself onto her whilst completely sober for the most part. And it was weird. It was like, why did you not feel resistance to give all that information? Because it was like a fellow Loki, or like...
Exactly. Wait, but what are you talking about? What do you mean?
He spoke so much about himself throughout the course of the episode.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, just get that to the point that even when he said it,
yes, even
she admitted, like, yeah, thanks for the tactical advantage. Like, the fuck? Like
right. Shit. He said something like, right, like, you know so much about me and I don't know anything about you. And she's like, right, thanks for the tactical advantage, motherfucker. Like, shit.
Yeah, like, that's it. It was odd. It was odd to kind of see him so easily vulnerable.
Okay, I'm gonna go with my tinfoil hat theory of the night.
Go for it.
All right. So in this episode, all right, I agree with Chaz. It is the weakest of the 3, but still an entertaining episode. I really liked it. And again, it's like a general Marvel lore. If you're a Marvel geek, you love when they travel to these obscure locales, so you could just like Easter egg out. So I think that she's in love with Loki. That Sylvie is in love with Loki, and she's like an emissary of the actual time variant Loki. And she's, trying to fulfill this mission for him because she loves him. And the reason why I say this is because, like, as he's drinking and then he gets up and starts singing, she's looking at him in a certain way. I might be reading too much into the scene, or it's really good acting. That leads me to believe that they have a history. Loki's not aware of it, but she is.
Oh, I like that. So, that's interesting.
Damn. And then, okay, one more thing. Yeah. And also, she mentions how she uses a person's like a fond memory of the past. That could be their first date, right? Okay, so that's and the tinfoil hat.
That's pretty big, man. Because like, as I caught on to that too. When she was watching him sing by the bar that he was shit-faced, I was like, wait, what's happening here? Is he winning her over? It's like they're playing at something. But damn, the fact that you said that she might be a herald. So this Loki might be a herald for another Loki to try and betray this, like, well, the main Loki. Fuck.
Well, I don't think she's a Loki. I think she is like Sylvie the Enchantress. And
That's
she's
working
just,
for Loki.
maybe she's trying to get to this. I mean, again, trying to get to the timekeepers because she's trying to free Loki, or her Loki died. Something epic.
Yeah, right.
like-
That's the thing that I liked about this episode. That we still don't really know enough about Sylvie the Enchantress, right? About her intentions, her motivations, everything about that, right? Because, like, as we mentioned, right, they were at the TVA. Loki tries to get in the way, and then they end up escaping and accidentally landing in this planet, which is the name of the episode, right? Like the Lamentis, which is like a planet that, or a moon that's going to crash into a planet, or vice versa.
Yeah,
and which is then it's a fun episode of them trying to escape this apocalypse, right? And that's where, right, we're seeing Loki basically vent to her about everything, who he is, and then but we get some info. I love your comment. I do think Sylvie the Enchantress has something more there, like some kind of connection to Loki that Loki doesn't have with her, right? You know, but I don't know what it may be. Like, now that you mentioned that she might have been in love with Loki, I'm thinking even like, is she like Loki's maybe brother in another timeline or something? Because they did talk about some shared past that's not like really shared, right? About like he got to know his mother, like the adopted mother. She didn't, but she knew she was adopted. He didn't. So it's like, it's weird because
that was bugged out.
She is Loki, but like not, but it's like the Enchantress. It's like, I'm thinking Marvel just grabbed two characters and like put them together. But I still don't know. We still really don't know. And I agree with Ches. This for me, this episode, well, with all you guys, right? This episode was the weakest one.
Word. And there's one thing that I want to address, all comic book shit aside. So even on the moon of Lamentis, right, as a subplot during an apocalypse, the elite and the wealthy are still fucking over the poor people. What the fuck, bro? It's like in every iteration of humanity, that's the thing that we do. Sorry to digress, but that shit occurred to me when I was watching the episode. Like, yo, so even here in Lamentis, the rich people are like, no, we're taking this train with room to spare, and fuck all of you poor people. You're gonna die horrible deaths. And on top of that, everyone is fucked anyway. So even in the face of everyone being fucked, the elite and the rich still want to fuck us over.
Even more so, I'd say. Like,
yeah,
in the apocalypse.
Yo, that shit occurred to me, that like, not coming down on the writers or some shit like that, but that's almost like we understand that in ourselves, that's how we are, and yet we don't change it. It's just it's
a fucking universal constant, man.
That's
like
crazy.
Thanos.
Yo,
inevitable.
But okay, so one thing I did like about this episode, much more character development going on here, is that we got a lot, like we got Sylvie's fighting prowess, and she's like superior to Loki. Like like we got like she's like Black Widow level almost. She was like running off walls. I thought all that choreography was really
it was very
dope.
similarly. I thought the same. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So we did get that. You do get some good fight scenes in this episode. Along with the plot thickening between those two characters. And they're trying to escape they're trying to escape Lamentis, right? Which sounds fucking cool. Very dope name.
Yeah.
And then that one escape route explodes at the end, and that's how the episode just kind of stops.
Right. And so for me, I think that's one of the issues why I didn't like the episode, right? Because like early on, it's said like, oh no, they're stranded on this planet that's gonna explode and it's an apocalypse and they're gonna die. I'm like, no, they're not. Like, so for me, the whole episode is like the whole tension of like, oh, how are they gonna get? I'm like, I'm not worried one bit. Like, they're going to get out. If anything, I would have liked the episode ending with them dying. Then that would have been like, what the fuck are you gonna do next, right? But other than that, for me, that's why the only problem was like, yes, okay, it was entertaining. There's a lot of cool action scenes. The acting's great. Tom's fun to watch. Sylvie's a great actress as well. I love seeing them interact. It's fun. But yeah, like story-wise, it's like, also because it annoyed me because we still don't know enough about Enchantress. We did get the biggest gem that actually connects to the story. The biggest one yet is that actually goes to, I think, what Rod was mentioning last episode, that the TVA people are not created by the timekeepers, that
was the bomb,
plucked from time, and they just don't remember. Apparently that they're variants themselves and they don't remember their past. Like, that was huge.
That was insane. That was because you could tell as soon as Loki realized that, he's like, that's how I'm going to destroy the TVA. I'm going to tell them what's happening to them, and that's going to disperse everything. Like, you saw that in his face. And also, for some reason, I think that Kang has something to do with it. I think maybe he's like a people hunter, or like their top person.
Bro, that statue behind that, I forget this character's name. Renslayer.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
I mean, that statue behind her is basically Kang, right?
Yo, exactly. No, because they had the 3 timekeepers behind them, right? And then honestly, I've seen some great stuff out there on the interwebs. You'll see it here on YouTube for with us, that they've been showing the face of the timekeeper. Especially, there was that one animation that Loki got as a training, right? That honestly, one of the timekeepers looks pretty much like Jonathan Majors, who's playing Kang in the Ant-Man and the Wasp movie. And I'm assuming he's playing Kang in this fucking series, which we'll see soon. Because come on, especially it's time. It's fucking people, variants, plot. Like, it has to be Kang.
Dude, I think we should collectively ride this rail car till the wheels fall off.
Oh, actually, another thing I just fucking found out that I didn't know. All right, not even tinfoil hat. This is legit fucking canon type of shit. So the main judge, right? I guess she's a judge, right? Yeah. The Renslayer. She is, so her name is Ravonna Renslayer, who in the comic books apparently was like the first or the most important love of Kang the Conqueror.
Gee, dude, like I'm telling you, man, let's just stay on this. Let's write this one in as hard as we did Mephisto, into the ground. Like, because I think
this one he gets us twice, man. Shame on us.
Nah, man. Facts. Fucking yeah, shame on us. But wait. Oh, quick side note, because I didn't want to forget this. It was like, this is the first thing that popped in my head. I don't know why, but it's like it was nice to see Loki embracing his Asgardian culture. Like, I never would have thought he was about that life. You know what I mean? I thought he just resented that whole Viking, Bacchanalian, fucking drunken revelry shit. Like, I thought like he would just, like, fuck these barbarians, like just highbrow magic and mischief and yada yada yada. Like, oh shit, look, it's pretty interesting. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? Because I guess he's Asgardian by adoption, right? Because he's really
Ice giant.
Frost giant. Yeah, Frost giant. So that's
just mad misleading, right? You hear Frost giant, you think of some other shit.
Which I don't know if you guys might have an answer to this. I finally get to ask this question somewhere. I've never really asked this out loud because I've always thought it was a stupid question, but fuck it. So he's a Frost giant by birth, right? The son of, what's his name? Larfey's son.
Yeah.
Okay, so why does he look so human? Is it like in Lucifer where he has like a different face? Like, does he have like an ice giant motif? Did being in an Asgard give him like human skin? Like, I don't.
He has a frost giant skin that he can just load and.
I mean, because for those of you on Netflix who've seen the show Lucifer, you know what I mean. He can switch between like his burnt angel devil face and human. Does Loki keep an Asgardian veil up as like, is that embedded in his subconscious? And underneath is really him as a frost giant, which would mean like blue or some shit. You know what I mean? Like, I've always thought about that.
I think we should look into this. I think there is an explanation out there.
Michael J. Straczynski and Olivia Coipel, they have I'm blanking on the actual like plot, but they wrote, it's a Lady Loki comic book, so it's her origin. But in telling Lady Loki's origin, Michael J. Straczynski also goes through the whole Loki history lore. I mean, it escapes me right now, but I know it's deep, and they explain the whole like why he looks that way.
Damn, I'm gonna look into that
shit. I'll post that right here.
Dude, I've always wondered about that shit because, like, all right, like how, like you're adopted, but why do you look as guardian? Like that doesn't make any sense. It's so weird.
Yeah, one more point though. The whole thing that they're actual people, possibly like Mobius. Now I want to know his story. He has to have some
Yo.
epic story, right? Because he's an integral character, and it's the first episode that we don't see him too, right?
Or
Yes, yeah, right.
or it might be that it's the total opposite of epic, and it might be that he loves jet ski so much because he was a jet ski instructor,
something
and the
lame.
TVA takes insignificant people in the timeline as if we took you, nothing would change.
That's good. Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
why you're in the TVA, because you're insignificant.
Oh damn!
Yo, but that makes me wonder the
Social
because-
commentary right there. Going back on what we said before, more mind bombs from Marvel.
Yeah.
Fuck!
You're so insignificant, you know, it doesn't matter, man. No, but it makes me wonder too, like also because like it begs the question, how did they become variants, right? Is it obviously it's not their doing, right? It's not like Loki grabbing the fucking cosmic cube and the Tesseract and then just like fucking up because the Avengers were fucking up with time. So or is it like that? Like are they collateral damage to maybe, you know, because we right there, you know, the Avengers went back in time to grab the fucking, you know, gems, stones, right? It's Infinity Stones in the MCU and gems in the comic books. I think, well, they became stones in the comic books too, but whatever. And we do know Captain America went back in time to fucking return them. Like, did that lead to like these random little offshoots? And that's why, I don't know, there's like random variants out there, you know, that.
Yeah. And also in episode 2, one of the time agents says, some asshole probably got his hands on a time machine or some shit. So there are other means of traveling through time. Hashtag Kang.
Facts.
Yes,
Facts.
exactly.
Aside from like the cosmic cube.
There's probably, remember, like in all, like if you zoom out enough in like in all the universes, there are these like exotic tech brokers and shit like that. Right. You know what I mean? Like those seedy characters that probably have access to some TVA tech that someone left behind or some shit.
Right.
But yeah, that's my tinfoil hat. You become a TVA agent when they calculate how insignificant you actually are to the timeline.
I like that idea. That's deep.
I want to put that shit on record.
Yo, more
Some
tinfoil
Fight
hat
Club shit.
Yes. Yo, tinfoil hat even further. I'm actually even thinking, what if there's not even a sacred timeline? What if that's all just bullshit that Kang came up with or something, or the timekeepers came up with? Like, that's why they're stealing these insignificant people, and then to fucking make the timeline that they want for their purposes, or I don't know, or something like that. Because like now it's like I don't trust nothing, right? Shit.
I think at this point you're wearing a tinfoil bodysuit. Like
yes.
you have,
and I look
shoes.
Great in it. I'm fabulous in it.
Like you're fucking oozing insanity. But yeah, like, but overall, I think like you guys said, it was an entertaining episode. It had its ups. It didn't really have downs. It was mostly kind of like meh. But this episode for me was a 7.
And by the way, this review is also brought to you by the drink of the motherfucking week.
That's
the
fucking
motherfucking
right.
week.
There's nothing best to end the week talking with my boys about comic books and fucking Loki. For the Loki review, we got 2 special drinks. We got Loki. We got the Bronx Brewery No Resolutions IPA. All right. So this is great. You know, also connecting to In the Heights, everything we've been talking about, although In the Heights is not in the Bronx, but you get what we're talking about. You know, and on top of that, we got some Basil Hayden's whiskey as well. Not the dark rye that we had before. This is just the regular one. Good whiskey, good beer. Highly recommend both. Bronx, what's up? Bronx Brewery. Hit us up, man. We love you. We would love to do a show. Yeah, we would love to do a show at the Bronx Brewery.
That'd be lit.
Fucking like for the Loki finale, Bronx Brewery. Let's be in touch. What's up? What's good?
And just, you know, a little R&D idea. If you guys want to create a little non-alcoholic brew, you know what I'm saying? Those things are hot right now.
You can pay us in beer.
Facts.
That's a valid currency.
Very valid.
Actually, at one point, it was a valid currency in history, so you're not totally off.
Yeah, and speaking of non-alcoholic beers, I have a Heineken Zero right there.
Oh,
you know,
nice.
Facts. Oh, and you just reminded me about something, Miguel, that I've been meaning to bring up for a while. So, if I'm not mistaken, guys, please check it out in the game and let me know if I'm wrong. If you look at Spider-Man, they completely cut the heights out of Manhattan.
Oh yeah. In the game, yeah.
Yeah, completely cut out the heights.
I think it was valid. I think it was a valid cutoff point. The game can only be so large. God damn it. They barely go into Harlem. Like,
right.
I think that might even been cut too.
But they go into Harlem.
No, but especially in Marvel
Harlem
Spider-Man in the Miles Morales one, Harlem is a big piece of it, and so Harlem is a little bit more
Luke Cage,
laid out. Well, exactly.
Well, so you know what? Like, I'm glad you brought that up because what we just discovered was the total lack of representation for that part of Manhattan in Marvel.
We need a hero.
Yeah,
facts.
Hell yeah.
Facts.
Look at Basil Hayden's.
Look what we just fucking stumbled on, yo. Like in all of fucking comicdom in Marvel, which is supposed to be in a quote. I don't know who I'm quoting. The world outside your window. There's no superhero in the Heights. Everyone turns back maybe at like 145th Street.
And what's funny with Marvel Spider-Man, both the Peter Parker Miles Morales game, is that when you go up on Harlem, besides up to the upper Manhattan, it starts to look a little bit like the Heights. Like they started to have some kind of buildings, and I think they have a park that's either similar to Riverside Park but also similar to like kind of like the cloisters of the Inwood Hill Park and Inwood Hill Park. So it's like a little mix. It's like they tried, but yo, bro, come on. I would have loved. I immediately tried to swing to check out our apartments and that kind of stuff. But
yeah. Miles is opening the Marvel universe to the Latino side. Wow. So, if there's any superhero, it's going to have to be Miles.
Hell yeah.
Damn, but to cover Brooklyn and the Heights, listen, man.
Yo, but we need Brooklyn. Come on. No.
Yeah, Brooklyn got to have somebody. Probably like the hipster Iron Fist version.
Damn, wait, but isn't Iron Fist enough of a hipster already? Like that's part of his motif.
Yeah, damn, man. Or like a cool dude, like in that the Ultimate Spider-Man animated series. I like that iteration too, where he's just like
I like that one. Dude. I like that one. That was cool.
But before we wrap up, before we forget, I just gotta make sure. So because Ches, you gave it. What was your review for? 7. I am giving Loki Lamentis a 7-2. Rod, I don't think we got yours yet.
Let me think. Damn. I didn't think we'd review this one. We didn't review last week's. We didn't give it a number score, but this one,
we didn't?
I don't think so. But this one, I'll give it 7.5.
And to leave off on a pun, I lament the quality of the third episode.
You're a jerk.
And on that note, people, go check us out on YouTube, Instagram, wherever the fuck you get your podcast. Friends, lovers, countrymen. This is Ches.
This is Miguel.
This is Rod. Peace out.
Peace.